So at the time of recording, Life is Strange Reunion is about to come out at the end of this month. So I thought, why not do a video doing my top 10 story games with choices. So without no further ado, this is that video. Let's take a look at the top 10 best story games with choices. Now, I'll start off with the first game. This is Lost Records Bloom and Rage. And do you know what? I generally really liked it. I liked walking around. I liked experiencing this world through Swan's eyes. Swan, by the way, is the main character that you play as. And it's just a brilliant game. So, the character Swan, she likes to record things. So, she got a video camera for her sweet 16th birthday. So, she's really happy about that. She can go off and she can do loads of recording. She's also a very awkward person, so this story is kind of how Swan makes friends, as well as that, her learning to do this film that she's doing, because she's, got a camcorder, so she's learning to film and also learning to make friends. Now, I just want to state that I do like this game, but it just feels like some of the choices that it gets you to make don't really make that much of an impact, sort to say. For example, there's a thing where you choose what ice cream you want. Now, again, it's a choice, because it's a choice-based decision-making game, but again, I don't feel like choosing an ice cream is really going to take that much of an effect or on a toll on the whole story altogether. And I know some other games in this categories will do that same similar thing, where it doesn't matter what you say, you'll kind of get the same outcome. But choosing an ice cream just feels like it could have been a cutscene and there could be a more interesting choice in its place. So, is it a good game? Well, I'd say that it's a yes, but I don't know if it's the best one on the list, so that's why it gets number 10. But number 9 is a bit more interesting. This is The Quarry. Now, if you don't know what The Quarry is, basically, it's that game that uses all those famous actors, all those big star Hollywood actors, and puts them into a video game where there's something strange going on. Honestly, this is one of those games that I really much enjoyed playing out of the 10. It did feel like all the decisions I was making were actually real, meaningful decisions. It also has the tension of putting players by themselves in a creepy forest when they feel like there's somebody following them. Honestly, it's that idiotic thing of don't go in the forest alone, and the game puts you in the forest alone. Honestly, game, why do you want to do that to me? Don't give me a heart attack. You know what? This game is class. I've tried to record this line a few times to kind of explain why I think that this gets 9th place, and I generally can't think of a reason except some of the other games on this list I just generally connect to more. I feel like there's more decisions and they're more meaningful in some of these other games. But honestly, I just think that this game is really good. I think pretty much all these top 10 games are really good. I just think there are other games in this list that are a little bit better, and some of the things that off-put me about this game, I don't know if it's some of the times when they smile or some of their facial features just look a little bit off. I think that's the only reason I would slightly give it a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10, but, it's your decision. If you like this game, you let me know. I think this is great. I don't think this is a game that you should bypass if you are into story games. That's why I made this video. Now, at number 8, and pretty much every game on this list isn't bad. They're just good. They're just different qualities about them. For this particular one, this is Until Dawn. And Until Dawn is an amazing game. But it's made kind of for the PlayStation. Really heavily made for the PlayStation, I'd say. Because there are things like controller, keep your controller steady. There's a lot of controller movements that you can get only in a PlayStation controller that you can't get in a lot of other controllers. So there's a reason why this is pretty much made for PlayStation. In fact, there's even a point when you're on a phone and you have to unlock it by swiping across your phone. You have to do that via the touchpad on the controller. So on your controller, you'll have to swipe to the left, to the right. You can do that on a PlayStation. You can't do this on an Xbox. So honestly, this is great innovation for PlayStation controllers. I think that's why this game is so good, because there's lots of innovations. Like, for example, it's not just picking a direction, choosing left or right. Yes, that is in the game, but being able to use your touchpad and being able to use the balancing of the controller to do things, it's just a bonus all around. I think also this game just really lets you walk and talk to people. So it's kind of the first game where I'd say it really just gives you places to explore and just have a bit more of an explore with your character. And there are decisions that are like, how do you want to get through somewhere? Do you want to climb over a wall fast or slow? It's like little decisions like that just had additions to the game. And I'm thinking to myself, which one's going to be better? Is it going to be climbing over it fast or slow? Which one's could damage my character? Maybe that might be something bad as this game continues. So it feels like the choices do matter inside this game. Anyway, that is, of course, Until Dawn. We'll move on to the next game, which is Beyond Two Souls. And this one's really good for decision making and seeing how you impact the world around you, because you play this game as two characters. First off, you play as Jodie at different points throughout our life. For example, this particular level we play as a child, but we also play as Aiden, a ghost, and he likes to cause a bit of havoc here and there. In fact, I think this game is really clever of an idea. For example, just the first level alone just explains the type of stuff you can do at a minimum, which is she can see a card there with a star in it. As Jodie, we can also pick that selected card. But Aiden can do what he likes. He's a ghost, so you can generally cause a lot of havoc. For example, this room that this woman is in, we can go nuts and completely destroy it. I mean, again, you don't have to. This is completely your choice of how you want Aiden's character to behave, but you'll play through Jodie at different situations throughout her life, making certain decisions. Yes, the game is kind of going to have an A to B type level where you'll have to start and end the level, but it's kind of what you do in the middle of it, which is completely up to you and completely your choice. Anyway, that's Beyond Two Souls. I'm going to move on to the next game. Now, the next game is Borderlands, the Telltale series, and I really like this. This is one of my favorites. I'm very new to this, and I really enjoyed playing this. I think one of the best parts about this is that it's not scared to be a little bit funny here and there. You basically play as like an overconfident type of funny person throughout this whole thing. So yeah, there is this light-hearted comedy feel to this, as well as there's a little bit of a serious tone, but not too much. It's light-hearted and it's an adventure. It's also got Patrick Warburton right here at the beginning of the playing this business guy, and I'm like, yes, this is awesome. Yes, get him inside of a video game. And then I happily searched him on Wikipedia, and it turns out he's in quite a lot of video games, which is kind of scary that I didn't know that. But anyway, yeah, there you go. He's in a video game. That's awesome. I like how you play as this overconfident guy in any situations. You play as this guy who talks the talk, but doesn't really walk the walk. So in a situation where there's a gun battle, you have to call down a robot to do the battle for you. So he's like, nah, don't worry about it. And it's just because, you know, he has to be overconfident about everything he does. That's just the way he is. So with these kind of, I'd like to say, a little bit of quick time events, learning how all the controls work, being able to choose what you want your character to say, it really just makes a really good story, and I absolutely love it. So this is Borderlands Tales from the Borderlands. Yeah, that's what you think. Anyway, there you go. Now, the next game on the list, this is Star Trek. And this is a Star Trek game with decisions and choices and what to make and seeing how decisions affect the world around you. Yes, please, give me Star Trek. I love it. I love Star Trek. Star Trek is a good franchise. Seeing it in a video game form has always been a bit of an if to me, whether I would like the game or not. This particular one, however, this is Resurgence. It's done a beautiful story. I really like what they've done with this game. Not every game that's set in space has to be a gun shooty game. Sometimes I just like exploring spaceships. That should be an element of space games that are set in the future. Let me explore what you think the future setting is going to be like. Not everything has to be guns, shooty, shooty, and this does a wonderful job of doing it. Not everything here is all a battle. Some of this is just walking around a futuristic space setting and just enjoying and taking in the atmosphere. I mean, that as well as making choices and making sure you're making the right choices, especially when it comes to certain decisions. Honestly, there is nothing like being on side of a spaceship, seeing people do their jobs, making you be the person making the tough decisions, seeing how the crew reacts to what decisions you make. I think it's just a brilliant game. It really just plays with the whole concept of being a leader and how people react to you. I think that's just brilliant. Anyway, there you go. That's Star Trek Resurgence. Definitely worth to take a look if you're a Star Trek fan, or if you're not a Star Trek fan, you might just generally enjoy this game. This is just so fun to play. Anyway, there you go. That's Star Trek Resurgence. Let's move to the next game. The next game is generally a really good classic. You play as more than one person in this particular game, but I'm only going to be showing you this guy because he's the main character, and he takes on this role of Dad. Yes, it seems quite nice and happy, especially right now. And of course, you've got two kids that just like having fun and playing games, and you like to join in with them. However, anyone who's played this game, you know exactly what's going to happen next. On the day out to the mall, the kid runs off from you, and then by the time you find him, he's on the other side of the road. As he runs back and tries to meet you, a car comes rushing out, and guess what? Yes, that happens. Now you basically live by yourself as a dad living alone with one child gone living with depression. Basically, that's the story. You've still got one child, so that's good, I guess. But after a little while, after you put your child to sleep in his bed and you leave the room, you start to get a little bit dizzy. That's when things don't seem to quite add up the way they should. Things get a little bit weird, and you start realizing that there might be more to this story than a kid just crossing a road. Next, we'll move on to The Walking Dead. This is number 3 in the list, by the way, just in case you're not keeping up. Yeah, this is The Walking Dead. Love this game. This is definitely up there. This is where I feel like decisions matter a little bit more than the previous games. I generally like this. This has got some really good writing, and it really just chucks you in the deep end as you realize there's a zombie apocalypse. Now, the decisions that you make in this game won't alter the direction of the story majorly, but it will alter how you do things as you progress in the story. For example, there might be a situation where you need to get from A to B, but how you get from A to B is totally your decision. Do you leave in the morning, or do you leave right now, or do you leave at nighttime? These are different decisions that you might be able to make. For example, in this particular scene right here, we're going to leave straight away in the daytime, but we could leave at nighttime instead, and it might be a little bit more quieter. We left in the middle of the day, so we met some people that we wouldn't have met if we did the other decision. Now, there might be situations in this game where you've got to choose who to save and who to let die, and it might make an effect on who trusts you more and who you should trust. For example, there's a decision here where the farmer's son, the place that you're staying at, he is going to die because he's getting attacked by a zombie. But a different family is also staying there. Their son is also getting attacked by a zombie. So who do you save? Do you save the kid, or do you save the farmer's son? It's completely up to you. You make that decision, and then you choose who to save. I'm not going to spoil anything more about the decision. If you played this game, you already know, obviously, both situations. But it's things like this. You've got to act fast. You've got to make the decisions really quickly. And, yeah. And it's going to affect who likes you and who dies. So, yeah. That's The Walking Dead. Absolutely love this game. Move on to the next game. And of course, it's Life is Strange. Yes, I absolutely love this game. This game is so good. This game is awesome. Of course, this game is based around on rewinding time. And the reason why I absolutely love this game is because all the decisions that you make, if you want to undo making them, you can just rewind time. It comes so much in handy with this type of game where you can choose which direction you want to take something in. This really shows off when you get to the principal point and you think something might affect something later. For example, If you're in this conversation with said principal, you can go up to him and start a conversation and say if this character or not had this gun. If you disagree or you feel like you should have given a different answer, you can just rewind the time, go back to that same question that you answered, and you can select a different answer. Again, this is totally up to you on what path you take, and you do get a choice of different paths affecting different things later on in the game, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. But now it's time for game number 1. And for me, this has to be Detroit, Becoming Human. It's such an awesome game. You play as different androids as they affect the world around them. And because you play as 3 different androids, anything can happen to any of these androids. I like the fact just being able to play as these androids pulls everything around you and just go into these rooms and rebuilding different crime scenes. Honestly, some of the stuff that you do inside this game, like being out on this roof, trying to save this little girl, is the girl going to survive or not? This decision is based around, did you make the right decisions previously? Did they get to the correct outcome? Are you going to save her? She could die, she could live. This base is all based on your decisions. And generally, that's why this is my favorite, because it generally feels like this is the game that really takes your decisions to heart. Did you say the right things? Did you do the right things? There is a debate whether or not this character lives or dies. This is all based on your character, and you feel like you're playing a critical role in saving this person. So yes, this is generally my favorite game, and I absolutely love it. And also, after every mission, you do get a chart, a flow chart of all the decisions that you made, and you do get to see how many types of endings that there were. In this first one, there wasn't that many choice endings, but obviously as you play this game more, there'll be different scenarios that you could or might not have taken, and it does come up as a surprise, telling you exactly how many options that there were inside that particular level. Anyway, there you go. That's my top 10 storytelling games with decisions. Tell me which one your favorite was, or was it not a part of this list? Because I know there are so many out there. So, you know, let me know. Tell me what your particular favorite storytelling game is. Write down in the comments below, and I will obviously go check it out. I'll see you guys on another Jump Inside video very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. Hey, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, then please don't forget to give a like and subscribe to the channel. That would be amazing. Thank you so much. Anyway, I will see you guys on another Jump Inside video very soon. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.